Hey everybody, it's JANG here with a look at the LEGO Star Wars buildable General Grievous. Or should I say, General Grievous. This comes with 186 pieces, and the initial big takeaway of this set is that it's a really big set. Like, that big. It's way bigger than I expected it to be. This is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is right up there in height with Witch Doctor, you know, another buildable character that they made that was very large, and I think the largest one that they did in that particular series with this newer style of bone system. So just and I haven't even extended the limbs out as far as they will go to get him to be as tall as is possible. This one is built using mostly just the character and creature building system, the CCBS bone system, so it's fairly true to that system, which makes it look more skeletal, as is pretty appropriate. There's a little bit of Technic building in there, but not too much. It's mostly just this lower kind of middle leg section right here, which has a couple of arms, just regular Technic beams. The kind of connected areas together here with some of the bones, but most of it is just ball joints connected to ball joints connected to ball joints, which for me, having been with that system since it first started, I actually found it to be quite enjoyable. And for a 186 piece set to be this large, I think this works out pretty well. His head is all one piece with the ball socket built into the base of it. It's all printed. There are no stickers used with this set. There's only one other printed piece though, one other piece that has a design, and it's just that breastplate kind of piece right there. And this is a really great color to get this piece that's also used in the Bionicle line, the latest sets. That's gunmetal gray right there. And then other than that, lots of tan pieces. Tan armor pieces, including the newest ones, which are shared across the Star Wars buildable figures, used on arms here, and they're also used mostly on legs, but you get those on all of the arms. Just a little bit of armor, you know, armor add-on style of pieces are used on the back, so it ends up being fairly open. I like the leg system that they used here, so you've got double bones down here. Just the single beam is kind of an intermediate connector right there. Double bones right there, and then they kind of switch things up, so you get one extra, well, actually a couple extra lengths of bone pieces added in up here, and it's interesting. And it works really well. That's important too. So for articulation with this figure, you can move the upper leg quite far forward, so you can really get quite a stride going, and even kick just directly forward. And then you also have articulation at this upper knee right there, and that's with the two joints that are side by side. That gives you a good amount of friction there. You have a little bit less ability to move down here because these are not the same length, uneven length little connectors there basically, or you know, just geometrically it's going to be changing the angle of the foot, and this is probably the least durable section of it, because as you move this back and forth with its amount of friction and the way that it has to move, and it's not just a linear, completely parallel action. So you can see it starts to try to pull that out a little bit. I don't think there's any worry of this ultimately coming apart on its own, but it just feels a little bit wobbly. And that's just, you know, just a kind of a subjective thing. You can also twist the feet back and forth like this, which is really good. By having those two bone elements, you can kind of turn it off to the side like that, and yeah. Ultimately, you can keep the feet flat to the ground even when you splay the legs apart like this. So if you have them directly in front, it works. Off to the side, it works. There's just enough flexibility to the whole system. There's also some extra flexibility here where you can go this way. You know, it's just having those extra joints really does a lot of good for the posability. The arms are very straightforward. Extremely straightforward. There's actually one small little extra joint up here just to give you a little extra range of motion and to help the arms to look more even in their length as far as their position away from the body. A little bit gappy in here. That's the one thing that I don't like here, but this was a cool little sub feature that they put in there where they allow you to connect the arms, the forearms together, so you kind of get that pre-arm separation look of Grievous, and then these the two arms just kind of move around together. They're a little bit too thick. I wish that they could have been a little bit closer together, but I think this works. For the system, this works quite well. And you still have a decent range of motion, not as much as you do when you have the arms separated out, where you can really just completely go across. And depending upon how you turn the bone piece right there, allows you to get even farther. It comes with 4 lightsabers, 2 with the trans bright green, and 2 with the trans light blue. And yeah, they're just slightly translucent, so slightly frosted kind of looking in the center section, which is flexible, so these are not going to break easily. The tips are made from the harder plastic material, and also the bases are, and each one has the 2 hilt pieces, so one for the top, one for the bottom. You're still able to hold on to 2 sabers even if you've got the arms together like that. And it's just, I think, a successful figure, though not one of the more complete feeling ones. You know, this one feels more technique-y and also more bony and just not as believable as some of the others, just by virtue of having so many raw parts exposed. But it makes really good use of the building system. I appreciate that. And the size, yeah, you just can't go wrong with a larger size for things. So happy about that. It really makes for an impressive display just to see it just based on its size alone. And it actually looks pretty good from the front. You don't see a whole lot of the little stuff. I do wish they were using or were allowed to use more of the black color for some of the small connector pieces, but that's just part of their system for making sets more accessible for younger kids and taking some of the frustration out of building, making it easier to find pieces more quickly so you can get to play more quickly. So that's it for this set. It's big, it looks pretty good, has really good posability. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts in a comment down below, and I'll be talking to you again soon in the next video.